local businesses from home. But my primary thing that I really enjoy doing is social media marketing and strategy. So when people can't afford for me to do their social media monthly, or if they're not really sure that they need help, I like to give these tips so that they can try to improve their social media on their own. Because there's a lot of little things that you can do to make a really big difference in how many people you're reaching with your social media. So let's go ahead. So why should you even care? I have a lot of people say, well, why do I need someone to do my social media? Or why should I even care if my social media is as successful as possible? So there was a really cool study done last year by The Manifest, which is a tech blog. They surveyed 529 small businesses across the US. And the results that they found were that small businesses are using digital advertising channels more than traditional channels now more than ever. That's probably not a huge surprise to everybody, but I like to back up what I say with true facts and research. And it also says that small businesses advertise on social media 64% of the time, online 49%, over traditional platforms. So we're talking, print materials like brochures and TV commercials and ads like that. So if you're interested in reading more of that, I put the link on there because I thought that it was really interesting. Here's a screenshot from that article. So the results showed that the main advertising medium small businesses had planned to use in 2019, which ended up being true, was social media. So you can see 64% of small businesses planned on using social media online. And then as you go down the list, print, events, TV, radio, and this is before coronavirus happened. So this probably has increased exponentially since then as well. Then, if I can click here. He likes to get mad at me. I told Jillian last time, I'm not using Prezi anymore. I love it, but it goes all over the place.
Oh.
All right. There we go. Okay, so the top advertising small businesses plan on using is social media and online, which we discussed. But online can be anything from your SEOs, banner ads, because those are more targeted to your audience than traditional mediums. So you can reach people that you truly want to see your ads and become your customers. So small businesses find that social media is their most effective medium for achieving advertising goals, which range from increasing your sales and revenue to converting leads to customers. So you can get people to your website all you want, but are they going to turn into your customer? Are they going to purchase your product or hire you for a service? So again, that article is right there if you're interested. And then this shows we millennials, we absolutely love online advertising. And we love to spend a lot of money on advertising as well. So you can see that the younger age groups spend a considerably a higher amount of money on advertising than older people do. And I think that's because we see the difference. We see the huge impact that it can make on your business. So follow what the young people are doing. Definitely pay for advertising if you're able to. Put that as part of your budget and your business plan every year. And if you do it correctly, you'll definitely see positive results from that. Okay, so here are the basics. So what's the important thing about social media? If you don't care about how many people you're reaching, if you don't care about keeping it up to date, having an up-to-date, professional, clean-looking social media platform, it just makes you look good. It makes your business look like you know what you're doing. It's a free way if you don't want to pay for advertising, as long as you just keep your social media up to date. It's an absolutely free way to advertise your business. So again, we want to make sure that we look professional. So make sure that your posts are written well, and at any time possible, use high quality graphics and photos. And what you want to do is post consistently. So if you can only post one time a week, that's fine. Just make sure you're always posting around the same day and the same time. And we'll talk a little bit more about analytics and finding out when your audience is online in just a few slides. Think outside the box. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing, or you can. If you see somebody's doing something that's successful, you can take inspiration from that. But try to be creative, especially considering what industry you're in. And don't constantly push ads on people. That's a very, unfortunately, outdated method now. People don't want to be advertised to. My generation especially, it has to be really sneaky, right? So I'm going to show you guys ways that you can talk about your business without pushing ads in front of people's faces all the time. Okay, so writing well. I've had people say, well, I just don't write well. I can't change that. Well, that's okay. You don't have to be an amazing, author to be able to write social media posts well. It is important to try to do this with proper grammar to avoid errors. Because again, it makes you guys look professional and well put together. So what I've done is, if you say, well, I'm just really bad at writing and there's nothing I can do about that. Okay, fine. I've got an article here, and I'm going to send, if anybody wants me to send this presentation to them, just put your email in the chat, because then I can send you this presentation. You can actually click on this link instead of having to type it into your browser. But these are free apps and websites that you can use to check your grammar and your spelling when you're writing. So I actually enjoy writing, so this isn't a big deal for me, but for a lot of people, this is a huge hurdle to creating good social media content. So these are completely free. Of course, they all have paid versions, but most of them have a free version. It's a great, easy way to make sure that your posts sound really professional and clean. All right, visually appealing images. So our cell phones are incredible now. You probably don't need a professional camera if you have one of the latest smartphones that are out there to take your pictures. Whenever possible, try to use natural light. And I always tell my clients when they put pictures for me for them to post that I want to post on their social media, I can tell when they have not cleaned their camera. I can tell. So if you have one of those old microfiber cloths so you don't scratch up the camera, clean your camera every single day. You'd be surprised how much better your photos are going to look. And if you are not a professional photo editor, which most of us aren't, that's okay. Most photo editing programs have an auto enhance feature, and they do a really good job of making it look better on its own. So here's a good example. I did not clean my camera before I asked, I think it was Stacy that took this picture. You can tell I didn't clean my camera. It's hazy, it's fuzzy. It was kind of cloudy that day, so we didn't have any natural light coming in. So this picture is okay, but it's not the best picture that we could have had, right? So the first thing that I did was I popped it into my photo editor and I did an auto enhance. So already you can see that that haziness is gone. The colors are a little darker. Everything's a little easier to see. You can even see the name of the class a little bit better back there. And it's still not perfect for me. So it's a little zoomed out. So I'm gonna crop it and straighten it. So again, you can still see the photo's a little bit grainy, but this is so much better than what we started with. So you can start with something subpar and just do a few minor edits, and it just makes your business and yourself as a business owner look very professional and well put together. Okay, and so this is the before and after. Step 1, step 2, step 3. I think that's a huge difference, and it just made it look so much better than it did before versus this fuzzy, dirty camera cell phone photo. Okay, so some people are like, okay, there's really not much difference between these two, but there is. This second photo that I took, I've zoomed in to show the detail of the donut. Like, if anybody's not getting hungry right now, I don't know what's wrong with you, because that looks incredible. And I've also put a little bit, not much. If you put too much filters on a photo, it's going to look fake. So I put just a little bit of a color enhancing filter on this so that you can really see the color of the sprinkles pop. And back here, the Fruity Pebbles donut. So it's the little details that make a big difference. Okay, graphics. So again, you don't have to be a professional graphic designer in order to improve what you are posting on your social media. There are, again, a lot. I love putting in free resources for you guys. So Canva is my favorite. I actually pay for Canva Pro, but I got away with Canva for free for over a year in my business. It's a great way you can make little Instagram posts, Facebook event covers, logos, presentations, newsletters. So if I enjoy making my own stuff because I am a graphic designer, but this is really nice to have if I want to make sure that a client's graphics look very similar across the board, because we want to make sure our brand is apparent to anybody that looks at it. So I can go in here and I can create a folder with Canva Pro for a certain client. And I can look at everything that I've made them that year. So this is a really good free resource. I think Canva Pro is like $10 a month. But you can, if you don't want to pay that, you can get away with regular Canva too. So what I've done here, in order to save some time, I've just taken quick screenshots of my phone. And again, you can watch this on YouTube after, or we'll send you the link to the presentation because I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. But these are free apps that I use on my phone to create graphics, edit videos, slow-mo, slow and fast. You can speed videos up for a time lapse. I have Adobe Photoshop, so I've added Lightroom on here and Photoshop Express. So that's really convenient to have. Typorama is a really great resource to create cool graphics with. It's very easy to use. And I've got a lot of them. Over is an Instagram story app. Snapseed is a photo editor. I could go on. Pexels is free stock photos. So lots of free resources. It doesn't have to be super expensive for you to do this. Film app and PixArt. So don't feel the need to write all that down. We'll make sure you guys get that. Okay, speaking of free stock images, there are so many free stock image websites. And you will get to the point where you're like, man, I feel like I've used every picture of, maybe you're a restaurant. I feel like I've used every professional photo of a burger from pexels.com. Okay, no problem. There's probably 10 more websites that you can check out. So a lot of people don't realize that when you post a photo on social media, if it's not from one of these free websites and you don't have permission to post that photo or that meme or that graphic, you could potentially get a copyright violation. And people are like, come on, that never happens to anyone. I can do whatever I want on Facebook. And yeah, a lot of people do get away with a lot of things on Facebook and Instagram, but it's always my policy, especially since people pay me to do this, to be safe rather than sorry. So if you want to make sure that you are just in the free and clear and you want to use stock images that are free or photos of your own, then you don't have to be concerned with this scenario of getting in trouble or getting a violation on your page. So here are 10 sites for free stock photos. This is a screenshot, so I couldn't make these clickable. So you can click the full article to go there. Unsplash is personally my favorite. It's really beautiful, classy photos. Pexels is more good for like restaurants and nail salons and things like that. But if you go through all of these and just check all of them out, you'll find one that suits you best for your industry and the image, the brand that you're trying to convey to your audience. And this is all completely free. So I also love the fact that you can get free stock videos. So let's say you want to make a quick 15-second video on Facebook, which I recommend keeping them short because people have small attention spans now. They don't like to read. They don't like to watch videos longer than a certain amount of time. If you need video clips, you can go to one of these free stock video sites and type in office, and it'll bring up a bunch of different scenarios where people are typing on a computer or maybe they're on the phone. And you can download these clips and then use one of your free phone apps that I just showed you, and you can string this together and make a really cool ad for your business. And that didn't cost you anything but time. So if you guys click on that, when you get the link to the presentation, I think there's at least 10 free video websites on there. Okay, so I can't emphasize enough, I probably said it 10 times already, professional appearance. So social media, it used to be this place when it was created, you just post whatever you want, and that was the point, right? You just connected with people. And as it's developed and it's become a really good place for businesses to gain a strong following and turn people into customers, it's become extremely critical to make your social media channels look as good as they can. So here we have, this is a client of mine. I'm sure most people on this probably know who Amber is. She's an attorney here in Slidell. She's given me permission to use her social media channels as part of my portfolio. So what I've done here is, this is what the new Facebook looks like, by the way. So if you've updated your Facebook anytime recently, this is what you're going to see. A lot of people don't like the new Facebook. It's a little clunky. It takes time to get used to using. The one benefit that I really do like about it though, is that this is almost exactly what it looks like on your phone as well. So you can see my computer has a wide screen. So we've got all this extra space here, which is a little weird. But when I get on a phone, The only thing that's different is that the about section has shifted over here and it's one column. So what's nice about that is when you design things and when you make posts, whatever they look like on your computer, most likely it's going to look good on your phone as well. Whereas in the past, when you design things for social media, you have to be very careful to make sure the dimensions you're using are going to make your graphic look good on an iPhone, on an Android, on a Mac, on a PC, because everything is slightly different in shape and size. So with Canva, what's nice about Canva is that you can just click create a Facebook event. And most times that will be the correct dimension. Sometimes I've noticed that the dimensions are a little wonky, like maybe they haven't updated it. So you always want to check and make sure it looks good on whatever platform you can. So what I like about what we've done here is every page is different, but for Amber, her business is her. It's her face. She's what's important because she's the one that's helping people. So instead of putting her logo as her profile photo, I made her professional headshot her profile photo for the business page because she's the most important thing about her business, her and her dog. So then we've got the cover photo up here, and I put like a gavel in the background, and then I've covered it up with the filter of her logo color. So this is her brand color right here. So we've still got an essence of law coming through, but we've branded it to where, when you look at this color, it has to do with Amber. And then of course we've got a white version of her logo to go on top of that. Now, some people, as you'll see, this is North Shore Savvy is just a recommendation site for things to do, places to go, places to eat on the North Shore. This is not the full North Shore Savvy logo. The full one is, NS in a circle, and then it says North Shore Savvy spelled out. But I've got this nice, you can take pieces of your logo as long as they tell a story and are easily identifiable. And you can put that piece of your logo right here as your profile photo, because as we know on our phones, that circle is so small. So if you put your entire logo in there, people might not be able to see it. But since I've just put NS right here, and that's the color, the brand color of the company, if you look up North Shore Savvy on your phone, you can tell it's an NS. Whereas again, if I put the entire logo, you would probably not be able to read it because it's too big. And then again, this is an events website, things to do, places to go. So what I've done is put a nice stock image, which was free. And I've edited it a little bit to make it more on brand. And it's a picture of people eating. So it's telling a story. You've got North Shore Savvy, we've got our colors, we've got our logo, and we've got the cover photo that tells a story. And then I also did this, I donated my time to do a makeover for Animal Assistance League of Slidell. And the logo is actually the cat and the dog right here next to Animal Assistance League of Slidell. But again, I've split these things up so that when you look them up, all you can see is the dog and the cat. It's very clear what the page is going to be about. But I've still tied these things in. We've got, this is the same color as the dog. This is the same color as the cat. We've got the paw prints. We've got the dog in the background. I did these on Adobe InDesign, but you can make things very similar to this on Canva. It does take time to get used to it if you're not used to using programs like that, but it's well worth it if you don't feel that you have the budget to pay someone to do this for you right now. And last but not least, this is my business Facebook. And I wanted to show you guys this because this is one scenario in which I didn't put my logo at all in the profile photo. So there are a few times, not often, if there's something more important than your logo that can go in that profile photo, you can put that there. Now that's probably only been there for like 5 months, and I probably will change it soon. I won't leave it like that forever. But when this was my profile photo, because it's my logo, right? I just actually cut all these words out and I just used the leaf in the purple background. But when this happened, I decided to make the North Shore's Best my profile photo. I made that there and I moved the logo to my cover photo so that when someone goes to my page, they can still see the logo somewhere. My brand is still on point. I've still got my brand colors. Yes, I do have my name right here, but this is my logo and that's who I am. So you definitely want that somewhere on your page. And then another thing about being professional with your social medias profiles, especially with Facebook, your about section, a quick little sentence about what you do and who you are. Having a website is always a good idea. I always recommend, if possible, that your email be something like ashley@onevillagemedia.com. Instead of, my email used to be onevillagemedia@gmail.com, which is fine. But when I got a website, it was the perfect opportunity to have an email that's branded as well. So any chance you get, if you can make something more branded to what you're doing, you're increasing the opportunity that somebody is going to see something and recognize your business for it. And then, okay, creating and posting content. So content is posts, it's videos, it's giveaways, images, polls, whatever you can think of, that's basically what content is. So I talked earlier about how important it is to post consistently. So it's hard to explain, but the basic premise is that Mark Zuckerberg, who founded Facebook, he created Facebook because he wants people to be social with one another. That's why it's called social media. But what we end up doing usually is just scrolling through, right? Most of us don't really interact with people on social media. We like to keep up with them, but we might not comment or react or share posts as much as he would want us to. So the algorithm, which you guys will hear about, the mysterious algorithm on social media, which Instagram was purchased by Facebook. So this is all applicable to Instagram as well. The algorithm basically says, okay, if Ashley likes something, she will interact with it. If she wants to see something badly enough, she will react to the post, she will comment on it, or she will share it. But that's not necessarily the case, right? So what the algorithm does is show you what you've interacted with the most. So if you post at the same time and the same day every week on your page, the algorithm rewards your consistency because it says they care about their audience. It tells the numbers, they care enough about their audience to look at when they are online most, and we're going to show you analytics in just a minute, and then read those analytics and respond to them. So again, if you're posting consistently, your posts are going to perform better in the long run, meaning they're going to reach more people, meaning you are potentially gaining more customers. So that's why that's so important. So again, the algorithm works better when you give your audience consistent, reliable content to look forward to. And the point that I was trying to make about telling you why the algorithm wants you to be social is that you need your followers to engage with your posts for them to perform even better. So simply enough, that's why we call that engagement. So when you create content, you have to come up with creative ways to think of how you can get people to react to the post, comment on it, and share it. It also helps to plan out a month ahead of time. I know when I say that, a lot of people, their brains explode. They're like, how could I ever possibly have time to plan a month of social media ahead of time? This is just a recommendation. That's what I do for my business and my clients. But even if you're just planning 2 weeks ahead of time, okay, I can only post once a week, so I'm going to plan out the next 2 weeks posts right now, and I'm going to schedule them. That way you don't have to worry about it. And you can also, when you plan out things ahead of time, you can see marketing trends. For example, November is coming up. So obviously I've already created plans for what is going to be on each of my clients' pages on Thanksgiving. So that's pretty obvious, right? But each client also has a specific industry. So for Amber, which you saw earlier, there is a national law day. It's May 1st. We actually launched her page on May 1st last year when her page went live for the first time. And it just so happened to be, we made sure it was National Law Day. So that was a really cool way to get people interested in what she was doing. So that's a reason, that's one of the many reasons why planning ahead of time is a good idea when you're trying to do your content, because you can make sure that you're posting something as relevant as possible. Unfortunately, and I've done this with my own business page, I'm doing my own social media. I don't have someone doing it for me. So if you post consistently for 3 months and then you stop for 2 weeks, you're back at square one. And that's frustrating, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. That doesn't mean you shouldn't continue. It also means that if you're like, well, I was supposed to post on Wednesday and it's Thursday. So now I'm just going to give up. It is unfortunate. Your numbers will be a little messed up, but it's more advantageous to you to post on Thursday instead of Wednesday when you had originally planned to than not at all. So when someone says to me, there's no way I can hire a social media strategist or a manager, there is no way that I'm going to have time to do this myself, to plan things this far ahead of time. So what do? I'll say, post anything, anytime you can. So, all these things that I've given you guys are recommendations. If you don't feel like you're capable of them or you don't have time, the very most base thing that you can do is just post. So grab your cell phone, take a picture of your coffee. Maybe you're a local business, and we love local businesses. We love to support each other, right? So you go to Creole Bakery, you get a nice little Abita roasting coffee, take a picture of it, post it, and tag Creole Bakery and Abita roasting coffee. And say, shout out, this coffee is really good. I love supporting local business for my morning coffee run. It is that simple. Again, everything that I'm teaching you guys is how you can make it even better. But just remember that anything can be content. Right now, you could take a screenshot of this webinar right now. We could all smile, right? And we could all take screenshots. And at the end of the webinar, we could post that on our business pages and say, learned something really cool this morning. Check out One Village Media and check out my business, Joe's Lawn Mowing Service, right? When you post that you as a business owner or an employee of a business are taking time out of your day to learn something and educate yourself, that's impressive. People want to hear about that. Your customers will be impressed that you took time out of your day to learn something. So again, anything can be content. So we keep talking about, I say, think outside the box over and over again. Again, you can look at what other people are doing, especially your competitors, and you can say, oh, that's a pretty cool idea. I will draw inspiration from that. But being creative in your own right and representing yourself, and maybe if you own a family business, teaching people about what values you and your family has will only make your social media for your business even more successful. So when you market your business, it doesn't have to be solely restricted to talking about your products and services. So here are some good examples. Okay, these are posts that I made on my business page. So we used to have a dog. She was very elderly and she passed away last year. Best dog in the world. But she's the office dog, right? I work from home. So she's my dog. She's at home with me. She's technically my office dog. And my office dog is somewhat distantly related to my business, right? So yeah, this post doesn't necessarily have something directly to do about social media, but it's my office dog. She's adorable, and it has something to do with my business, that I'm working here in my home and my office dog is here with me. This post is going to get so much more interaction than my educational posts that I love to do about, here's how to, change your news feed. Here's how to change your privacy settings. That stuff's important to post, but this performs so much better because she's cute, right? One sentence, very quick and to the point, grammatically correct, cute emojis. I use a little filter on here. I took this photo with a cell phone in natural light, and then I just used a quick Photoshop app. I used Lightroom for this, but you can use whatever photo editing app you want to use. And it's that simple. And then this next one is a Throwback Thursday. So if you're a business owner or if you're an employee of a business, you matter. You're an important part of the company. So a Throwback Thursday to something from your childhood teaches people about you. It makes them feel more connected to you. And again, this is going to be much more successful than the other stuff that I like to post. So Throwback Thursday is a great way to post something cute, right, about yourself from when you were a kid, make people feel connected to you and your family, and teach them again about your values. So even though my company is social media management and digital marketing, this post did very well because they liked it. So here we go. Here's another one. I just said local businesses love supporting other local businesses, right? Because we all know how hard it is. It's so easy to go on Amazon and order something when you could get in your car and drive to a local business and pay a little bit more for a quality product because you know you're supporting a local family. So we all try to support each other and have each other's backs. So I love supporting local, especially if it involves ice cream. So this was from the soda shop. I took this years ago. That's another point too. I took this photo years ago for my personal Instagram. And when National Ice Cream Day came around, I didn't find myself having time to go to the soda shop, get an ice cream, and take a picture of it. So I took this photo, which is now 3 years old, and I posted for National Ice Cream Day. Now I did this again because I'm showing my support for a local business, right? And National Ice Cream Day is relevant because it's ice cream. So this is just another way that you can put really interesting content on your social media that doesn't necessarily have to be screaming an ad for your products and services. And there's so much more, so many more suggestions I could make to you, but last but not least, books. So I work from home, so I created a book club in order to meet people my age. I don't go to an office every day and interact with coworkers, so it can get pretty quiet around here. So I created a book club. And I also think it's cool to show my followers that I like to read, right? Here's what I like to read. Here's a little bit about me. This is why I like the book. You can tag the author of the book. You can tag the book club. And this is just another way to get your face in front of so many different audiences. And then, okay, so I'm gonna hammer this into your head. Now more than ever, people do not like being explicitly advertised to. That's not to say you can't put ads on your page, but it needs to be a very small percentage of your overall content. Your goal should be to create content that's relatable and fun. So this will help you gain more followers. What's the point, right? The more followers you have, the more potential you'll have for those people to turn into your actual customers that are supporting your business. So this is what we want to avoid, okay? These are the no-nos. Everybody's gonna be in shock and awe, and you guys are gonna gasp. You're not actually allowed. It's actually against Facebook policy to create a contest where you require them to tag your friends in this post as an entry or to share. So what I've done here, facebook.com/policy. So if you go to the collection of data, this is a nerd paradise, okay? So that's why I've screenshotted it for you so you don't have to dig for it. But basically it says right here, administration of a promotion. So promotions may be administrated. That doesn't mean you can't do them, but you cannot use personal timelines and friend connections to make them more successful. And you're like, what? Everybody does that. It's true. Almost everybody does this, and rarely do they get in trouble for it, but they do. Some people do get in trouble for this, and you can get a violation on your page. You can have the giveaway removed and taken down, and then all these angry people, who are upset that they didn't even get a chance to win. So like I said, if you want to make a giveaway where you require people to tag friends, that's a great way to get new followers. But you're just taking a risk. So like I said, my philosophy is better safe than sorry. So I give you the information and you do what you're most comfortable with. What I will do is show you an example of how you can create a giveaway that's not against Facebook policy. So the main thing is to use the word giveaway. Don't ever use the word contest, because it seems silly, but it's true. Contests are not allowed. Giveaways are. It's very slightly different to Facebook. Something else here's a great example. Okay, so this is how you can do a giveaway. So Nola Essentials is a business owned by my friend. So she asked me to create a giveaway for them that wouldn't violate, Facebook policies, but would still be successful. So this post said body product giveaway. I had edited it later to put the winner. So originally it started here. And this is a very straightforward, to the point. This is what's happening, right? In caps, nice little emoji, then a brief description of what the prize contains, what's inside it, what the value is. And here are the entries, okay? Requiring someone to like a page is not listed anywhere in Facebook policy as against Facebook policy or permitted. So this is a gray area that I feel comfortable playing with, right? So like the page, you can ask people to react to the post. And you can ask them to comment something relatable to what you're doing. So NOLA Essentials is a natural body products shop that they do all this in their home. So I said, comment what your favorite scent is, right? So that's relatable to their product. Something else you could do is you could say, you could post a cute picture of your dog and you could say, funniest caption wins this giveaway, right? So you can get really creative with this. A local business who had taken my class said that they were, they do those giveaways all the time and they never get in trouble, but okay, they'll give it a shot to do it my way. And what he had done was he said, he put a gift card, a picture of a gift card, and he wrote, do all the Facebook things to win. People know what that meant. They were like, oh, okay. So they tagged their friends, they commented and they shared it without him even having to ask. And that's not against policy. So these are really cool creative ways that you can get people to come to your page. Okay, so I did not take screenshots of any local business. All these screenshots where I'm teaching you what not to do are from businesses that are in other states, because I would never want to shame a local business. This is purely educational, it's not bashing anybody. So this is a Facebook page that I found for, let's call him again, Joe's Lawn Mowing Service. So Joe's a hard worker, he's doing a great job, he has great reviews, he knows that social media is important, so he's made this page. So right here, let's just say that it says Joe's Lawn Mowing Service. And his profile picture is of a trailer, right? Which is what he puts his equipment in, and the mulch and all that stuff. So that's an okay, that's not what I would have chosen for a profile photo, but that's not too bad. The problem is when we get into the cover photo, he most likely uploaded a full size photo that wasn't cropped. And so now all it's showing is the bottom part of it. And as you can see, it's very grainy and pixelated. So what I would have done instead was, he probably doesn't have a logo. So he could hire someone local to make him a logo. It doesn't have to be fancy. And I like logos to have two pieces, to where you can put one piece on things without the entire logo. Like I showed you with North Shore Savvy. So Joe's Lawn Mowing Service, maybe he's got a little lawnmower part of the logo here, and then the full logo here, and the background could be a really nice, high quality professional photo of a yard that he and his team had landscaped. So hiring a professional photographer to give you some social media content, it isn't cheap, but if they give you 100 photos, if you only post one of those a week, that'll last you a long time. So then, continuing with Joe, I scrolled down to some of his posts. He said, Happy Mother's Day, great. He's acknowledging an important holiday. But what he could have done is taken 5 minutes to go into Canva and make a Happy Mother Day graphic in his logo colors. And he would have accomplished a lot more with that. You can see he only got 1 like. And there's nothing wrong with that, but he can make small changes to reach more people. And this post that he made here, he just landscaped and did a lovely job on this home. And he said, your grass is beautiful, and then tagged the homeowner, which that's fine. But what he could have done instead, what he should have done, and what would have been really effective, is to have gotten the owner's permission to post a before and after. Because how do I know that their lawn wasn't nearly perfectly manicured before, right? People love before and afters. They love seeing what your company is capable of. So having this is what the yard looked like before, and this is the after. Look at what an amazing difference this is. We really liked working with you, blank. Thank you for letting us, make your yard beautiful. That would have been, again, almost the same post, but way, way, way more impactful. Okay, so here we have again, none of these are local businesses. I think this is like a South Carolina seafood place. So they've posted, I blocked out the name for their privacy. They posted all you can eat Alaskan crab legs, only the best. For our coupons, grab any local coupon book, our brochures in any hotel, or press book now on our main Facebook page. So what's interesting is you can put a book now button on the post. So you don't have to tell people go to our main Facebook page. And we are lazy, right? So if you had put that button right here at the bottom, people wouldn't have to take the extra step. I like to put send message at the bottom because I feel like people want to talk to someone. They don't necessarily like being redirected to a website. That's just a personal preference that I recommend. If you have a button at all, you're doing great. So this picture is pretty good. It's not bad, the picture of the crab legs, but it could have been put into a photo editor and made a little nicer. So what I did was I went on to my personal profile. I made a private post because people would probably be very confused if I made a post advertising crab legs on my personal page, especially because I don't eat seafood. But I recreated this post in a way that I think would have drawn more attention. So I got this really nice professional photo of crab legs, right? So it's already a different appearance than what we had before. So the first thing I said is, come eat with us. So already you're making people feel included. You're making them feel like they're part of your family. And that is more alluring than, go grab our coupon book, right? Come eat with us. If you've been craving crab legs, our all-you-can-eat Alaskan crab leg special won't disappoint. We only use the highest quality, freshest ingredients, so treat yourself to something special. So treat yourself, high quality, fresh ingredients. And then, as a side note, P.S., find our coupons in any local coupon book near you for more amazing deals, right? So almost the exact same information, just presented so differently that it's going to create much more of an impact and gain many more followers that way. Okay. So we want to increase our views, right? So the first thing that you can do is invite friends to like your page. Now, an important thing that I need to note here is if you are a brick and mortar store, for example, if you own a nail salon inside out, you wouldn't necessarily want to invite your friend from Colorado to like the page. You're like, why? I want as many likes as possible. That's true. But your friend from Colorado or your friend's friend from Colorado won't have any reason to engage with your posts because they're not your ideal customer. They're, unfortunately, no matter how amazing you are, they're not going to get on a plane and fly here from Colorado to go to your nail salon. So if you invite people to like your page, you want it to be people in the immediate area. If you have a brick and mortar, who have the potential to become your customer. So the problem is when you mass invite people, your entire friends list to like your page. I've lived in 3 different states in the last 10 years. If I owned a brick and mortar here, it would not be smart of me to invite all of my friends because only a chunk of my Facebook friends would actually be able to become my customer. Now, what I do now is digital marketing, so anybody can become my customer. So with what I do, since I sell things online, like maybe if you have an online boutique and you ship across the US, in that scenario, it would be a good idea to invite people from all over. So just be mindful of who you're inviting. If you own Unicorn and Pony Shop, you might not necessarily want to invite Biker Joe, right, to like the Unicorn and Pony Shop, because he's not going to, when you post a cute picture of a pony, Joe, the biker, if he likes ponies, that's fine, but most likely he won't comment on that, react on it, or share it. So again, invite your ideal customer. Also, when you invite people to like your page, sometimes they accept, sometimes they don't. Make a Facebook post asking people to follow your business. What I like to tell people is if you don't ask, you won't receive. Hey, I heard that you had a really good experience with my business. Would you mind writing a quick Facebook review? It'd make a big difference. I'm a small business owner. I'd really appreciate it, right? But if you don't ask, that person may have good intentions to write that review, but they never get around to it. But if you ask, they feel obligated because they did have a good experience with your business. So here, make a Facebook post asking your friends to follow your business accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, right? Share your business post to your personal account. So I have to teach some of my clients that if they post a professional photo of them at their shop, right? If they give me that photo to use and I post it on their business page, and it 3 days before they posted that same photo on their personal page, a lot of their friends are their ideal customer. So they're going to see that post 3 days earlier on your personal page. Then when we come over to your business page and post it, not as many people are going to interact with it as they would have if you had just focused on your business. So what I recommend is making the post on your business page, and then maybe a day later, right, to give the post some more fuel to the fire, then sharing it to your personal page. That way, you aren't overloading people, the same audience with the same content, right? So you've got this one post, and when you share it to your personal page and people go to your business page, you're drawing people there, right? That's where you want people to go. Also, share your business post, like I said, to your personal account, but just write a quick sentence asking people to share as well. So actions, ask people to engage in actions. Hey guys, will you please share my business? It'd mean a lot to me. Hey guys, can you please invite people that you think would enjoy my business to like my page? If you don't ask for help, you won't receive any. Okay, creating a group. So you can create a group now. They did this update about a year ago. You've always been able to create groups for like 7 years, but now you can create a group that is managed by your business page. So when you go to North Shore Small Business Owners, it says North Shore Small Business Owners, a page managed by One Village Media, right? I want to help people, so that's why I created the group, but it's also good exposure for my business, and there's nothing wrong with that. So maybe you own a wedding venue, okay? And you can create a Facebook group for brides to ask each other questions, recommendations for where to find a dress. And that gives you great exposure as a wedding venue because you can help those people out. You can give, oh, hey, well, this is our venue. And we also like to work with this florist and we love these caterers. So you're helping people and they're like, wow, these people know their stuff. So they will likely go and like your page. What's nice about this, when you create a group attached to your business page, you can go to the group and you can invite people who like your business page to join the group, even if you aren't friends with them. That's the only way you can invite people who aren't your friends to a group, is if it's attached to that business page. When you post in the group, if I post, in this group, I posted, hey guys, I'm doing a webinar this morning, click here to join, right? If anybody reacts to that post that doesn't already like my business page, I can click on it and invite them to like my page. So it's really a win-win. You can't really lose with creating a group. And you're like, well, I don't have anything relevant that, I could create that people would enjoy. Get creative. So like I said, the wedding venue, you can create a commonly asked questions from brides with a much better name, but you get the idea. So just try to think outside the box with that and see how you can help people. And they'll be appreciative of that. And it is really quickly, I did make this a private group, which means that only people who are members can see what's posted. So there's incentive to join. It's also nice too, because if you join a group like, there are all kinds of groups. There are therapy groups, there are groups for specific medications, for specific disabilities, video games, whatever. It's nice if you join a private group to know that when you post in there, only people who are part of the group can see it. Nobody on your regular Facebook friends list will see it unless they are also a member. Okay, insights. I'm going to be brief about this because I could talk about it for 100 days straight. What I want you guys to do when you get done today is when you go to your Facebook page, when you manage a page, you'll see these tabs at the top as options because you're an administrator. Insights is one of the most important things that you can pay attention to. Now, your insights, I also refer to this interchangeably as analytics. They will be all over the place unless you've been posting regularly. So don't be discouraged. Your numbers start to even out generally after 3 months of consistent posting. So whenever I get a new client, I have to be very adamant to explain to them, it's going to take us minimum 3 months of working together for you to be able to tell if what we're doing is beneficial or not. So the benefit to looking at your insights on who your audience is when they're online the most, and what posts are most successful. If you post for 3 months and you post a cute dog picture on the first week, a poll on the second week, and an educational post on the third week, and you say, man, those polls aren't really doing well, we should probably swap that out for something else, right? So you can exchange that for something that will hopefully perform better and keep tabs on it. So the goal is always improvement. So this is a client's page of mine. And these are from last year, so these are really old, but it still gives you the same idea. So your page views are how many people, how many unique users saw your page, and you always see this time period right here, okay? So that's important because more views means more customers, hopefully. Page previews, that's if your page showed up in someone's timeline, right, as a suggested page. Page likes, that's pretty obvious. Post reach, how many unique people did your post reach that week? So this is good, right? We've only got 81 people who saw the page. However, over 2,500 people saw our post. That's wonderful. At this time, we weren't doing stories on Facebook. We are now, because Facebook has it integrated with Instagram. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second, but you can go on Instagram, share an Instagram story, and have it set up to where it always shares to your Facebook story as well. So you're reaching two audiences for just one step. So next, I scrolled down a little bit, and we're under overview, guys. So this is just a brief overview of all of the statistics. So recommendations, how many people left your business a recommendation between this time period? Engagement. So engagement is how many people interacted with your post in some way, shape, or form. Responsiveness, this one's a hard one. Unless you are online all the time, don't be upset if your response rate isn't perfect. This is 85% for this client right now. Even if you set up automatic responses, it doesn't count that. So it wants you to constantly engage with your clients and your customers on Facebook Messenger. But the good news is, as long as you aren't doing horrifically at this, it doesn't ding you for anything. What I will say is that if you're having a conversation with someone and you say, thank you so much, have a great day, and they respond, you too. And if you've ever had a business that responds like a thumbs up or a heart, you're like, that was kind of weird. Why did they feel the need to get the last word in? Because if they don't do that, it shows that they haven't responded to a message. So you'll probably know a lot of businesses are aware of that. And so if you've ever wondered like why everybody sends these emojis at the end of the conversation, even though it's done and over, that's why. And that's why I do it too. So if somebody messages you, and they've said the last thing, maybe send a little thumbs up or a heart, and they might be a little confused, but at least your response rate is good. All right, so all of this was under overview. So what's nice is this is a good summation. So I do encourage you guys to go through all of these when you have the chance and become familiar with them. But the ones I want to highlight on are your posts. Super, super important, right? Because this under here, under posts, it shows you on any given day, on average for this recent 1 week time period, when were people online the most? When were your followers online? What time, what day? So you can see for this client, it's pretty steady throughout the week. So I'm not super concerned. Let's say I post 4 times a week for this client. I'm obviously going to post on Monday and Wednesday, because those are the highest ones, and Tuesday. Between Thursday and Friday, there's really very little difference. So since I'm only posting 4 times a week, because I don't want to overwhelm this person's audience based on what size it is, I'm just gonna, for the month of November, I'm not gonna schedule anything on Thursdays. And then maybe next month, if the numbers are about the same, I won't schedule anything on Tuesdays. But if this person's numbers weren't so consistent, if Tuesday only had 300 people, obviously we wouldn't post on that day. Now, to take it a step further, when you don't hover over any of the days, it just shows you an average of the entire week. But if this wasn't a screenshot, when I hover over Monday, it'll show you the specific graph for Monday, for when people are online the most. Now, really important to notice, and I didn't notice this until, I had been looking at insights for a couple of months. Data shown for a recent 1 week period. insights are shown in Pacific time zone. So that's a 2-hour time difference. So it's important to, when you look at this, to say, okay, well, if it's 11 o'clock here and I'm in Central Time, that means it's this time. So this says peak time is 6 o'clock, right, PM, but that's Pacific time. So for here in Central Time, that'll be 8 o'clock. So then I'm going to schedule a post. My most popular day is Monday. My most popular time on Mondays is 6 o'clock. We know that's now 8 o'clock. And so that's what I'm going to schedule a post for. So if you keep doing these targeted times and days, they're going to reward you for that. The algorithm is, and your post will go farther and do better. And this is, yes, this is, if you're overwhelmed, that's perfectly understandable. This is what I do for a living. So don't feel like you should automatically get this. Also under posts, when you keep scrolling, it shows you, see, this is over a year ago. It shows you how every post performed individually. So we can see that whatever this was right here did great, okay? Whatever this was, also awesome. And then on 14th, 690, that's still far above what our average is. So I'm gonna look at the end of every month, I look at what posts performed exceptionally well as opposed to others. And I say, what about that post made people want to engage with it? So you can see the reach is high, the engagement, this is how many people clicked on it in blue. And then on red is how many people reacted to it, commented on it, or shared it. At the end of the month, I send analytics reports to my clients to show them how they don't have to do this, how these numbers are going up or down. And it's okay for your numbers to go down. Social media is very unpredictable. So you just want to constantly study what's working and what's not. And then another important one, people. So who is your audience? Who are your followers? This particular client, the vast majority of their followers are in the United States, which makes sense because they're a local business. Very few people from around the world have liked this page, which is good. I just took over a new client page and they had 4,300 likes and their engagement was really low. And I was like, this isn't right. And so I started looking, and over 1,000 of their followers were not from the United States. So why would they care about anything that they post? Because this was one shop inside out. It's not franchised, it's nowhere else. So most of those accounts too were not real people. So what I suspect is that their previous social media person purchased followers in order to impress them. So they hurt the page because then I had to spend hours going through and removing all of the fake followers. So I had to explain to the client, I know this seems strange, but I'm removing about 1,100 of your likes. So now they have less likes, but their engagement is through the roof. So now the people who like their page will actually be people who are actually going to interact with the page and come to their store. So it's important to kind of see, who are my followers? Where are they from? And this person has a lot of followers in Seattle, but we've also got people from surrounding areas, which makes sense because it's not too bad of a drive, right? What language do they speak? How old are they? What gender are they? These are important things to keep an eye on so you can tailor your posts to what the people want to see, right? So again, I encourage you guys to go really, get a cup of coffee, a snack, and kind of just dive into this and really get familiar with how the insights work, because once you get it, it's so invaluable to have. All right, Insta Stories. I'm going through this quick. The majority of this presentation obviously was about Facebook, but I wanted to give you guys some tips on some important things when you're on Instagram. Insta Stories is, if you don't know what Insta Stories is, most of you probably do, but if you don't, it's a tool that Instagram it enables you to provide additional content. This is great for me because when I take over someone's social media for a business, I'm the one posting. I'm using their authentic voice so that no one realizes that they have a social media manager, but they feel like they're not part of it, right? So I tell my clients, well, here are ways that you can interact with your customers: Insta Stories and Facebook Stories, or by creating a group, right? So what's nice about Insta Stories is that it's it's a tidbit into your everyday life. So for Instagram, we know that we take time, we take a good picture, we edit it, we write a nice caption, and we post that, and it's going to, unless we decide to delete it later, it's going to stay there forever. Insta Stories is nice because that quick picture of the coffee we talked about, if you have time and you're investing a lot of effort into your social media, that quick picture of the coffee probably won't satisfy you for your regular post. So instead, you can add it to your Insta Stories. Insta Stories only last 24 hours. So after that, it's gone. So here's Instagram. You can tell that, this guy, he's a comedian that I followed. He's really funny. He's got a professional photo as his profile picture. And this is a nice, visually appealing shot of him, right? Up here are the people I follow. And if they have Insta Stories, you'll see this circle around it. See, mine, I have not uploaded an Insta Story, so you don't see this circle here. So when I click on their picture, it shows me their stories. And we'll get to that in just a second. This is the comedian, this is his profile. So when I clicked on his name, his username, which is also called a handle, this brings very brief. Instagram is extremely brief. It's his name, his company, something funny about him, and that's it, right? And then he's got this link, which would probably link to your website or a blog post that you just wrote. So it's important to note here that he's a verified account, which is good. That means that that's actually who he claims to be. And then there's nothing here. But on mine, there is this padlock because this is my personal profile. At One Village Media, my business just is public, so it doesn't have this. So in order to see what I post, which I haven't posted in a very long time on my personal account, you would have to send me a follow request and I would have to accept it. Most of them I reject because I don't know most of the people who try to follow me. On my business page, that doesn't matter. You don't have to request to follow me. So you can follow people, right? You can follow companies, and you can also follow certain places and hashtags. So you're like, how the heck do I follow a hashtag? So we're going to go over here. And when you search for a hashtag, like for example, hashtag Old Town Slidell, you can choose to follow that hashtag. So what's nice about that is if I create a post for a client who owns a business in Old Town Slidell, and I use hashtag Old Town Slidell on every single post they make, you as a potential customer who decides to follow this hashtag, every post that I associate that hashtag with will show up here. So it's an anchor that combines every post that's used into this one section of Instagram. So when you go to a hashtag, you've either got top posts, which are the posts that perform the best, or most recent. I want to see most recent because some of these, even though these posts perform really well, some of them are pretty old. So if you choose recent, you'll see the ones that it's by time. Maybe one was just posted 3 seconds ago, and then this one was posted 10 seconds ago, 30 seconds. So that's a good way to make yourself aware of new businesses. It's also a great way to get more exposure if you are a business, is to use local hashtags. So I said that you can follow people, places, or hashtags, also referred here to as tags. So when you type a name in or you type something into the search bar, the top results are going to be a combination of all three of these, okay? Obviously, Rachel Smith is most likely a person that I want to follow. So if she's a person or a business, right? Maybe Rachel Smith Beauty Products. If I hit accounts, it's going to bring up all the potential accounts associated with that name. If I type Rachel Smith in and then click tags, I'm going to be looking at hashtag Rachel Smith, which is probably not what I want. Rachel Smith is probably also not a place. But if you type in Slidell and hit places, you can follow the different areas of Slidell or the North Shore. So that's a really cool feature that you need to be aware of if you have a business Instagram. And when you create an Instagram, there is a difference between creating a personal Instagram and a business Instagram. The business one will allow you to see analytics, whereas the personal one will not. Okay, so this is just what it looks like when you have Instagram pulled up on your phone and you swipe left, right? It brings up the camera feature. This is how I'm going to add to Insta Stories. So I can do two things. I can hit this white circle, right, to take a picture, or I can tap and hold it to take a video. I can swipe over here to use filters, or Let's say I've already taken a photo 3 days ago with my cell phone and I want to use that instead. I'm going to go down here and you can see this little square that shows a preview of the photos in your camera roll. So I'm going to click that and it brings up my camera roll. So I scroll through and I want to tell people that I supported a local business the other day, right? So I find this photo of the blow dry bar, which is, pedicures, manicures, blowouts. They're right here in Slidell. And that's a cool picture, right? That's not something that I wanted to post on my main news feed or my main posts, but that's a great thing to add to my Insta stories. And you can also go into your settings, which I'll show you in a minute, and you can have it automatically share to Facebook so that you're not doing it twice. I don't recommend doing that for your regular post because it's evident when someone shares something directly from Instagram, right? It has the hashtags on it, which you don't really need on Facebook. It has the handles and it's not tagged. The location's wonky. It doesn't look very professional, but you can do that for your stories, and that's a great idea. Okay, this is a woman I follow. Her and her husband have a DIY, which is do-it-yourself blog. So they share posts about all of their renovation projects. This is about them going to the carnival, right? That's something personal. It helps me get to know them. It's interesting. It's fun. But she chose to put this on her Insta stories instead of in her actual, her main post. So she said, this past weekend at Cape Charles it did not disappoint. Really cool picture. And you can see up here how many stories that someone has, right, at that time. The older ones expire, right, as they become 24 hours old. And you can see this white part right here is how much of it that you've watched. So each one is only 15 seconds. So if you have a picture like this, you may not want to watch it for 15 seconds. And you can just tap on the right-hand side and tap through it to the next one. Here's my business Instagram. I wanted to show you guys that lock is not there that we talked about because this is a public account. I've got my business name, my category, and what I do. Very quick, very to the point, Slidell, Louisiana. This is before I had a website, so that's not on here, but my website is on there now. And you can see that I've got I've got a business meeting that I had right here. I've got me supporting another business. I've got the book club here. Went down to New Orleans one day, supporting a small business. So that's just an example. Instagram is very clean. I don't have time to get into this today, but I will tell you if you know what the follow unfollow method is, which is trying to follow people so they will follow you back. And then once they are your follower, unfollowing them, it doesn't work. The way to get Instagram followers and followers on any social media platform is to provide quality content. So as long as you're providing quality content and you're using the right hashtags, you will get more followers. The follow unfollow method doesn't do anything good for your insights because people, once they realize you've unfollowed them, they unfollow you too. So it was all for nothing usually. So another thing I wanted to point out here is when you click these 3 lines, this is called the hamburger, okay? 3 lines or 3 dots on any social media platform are your best friend because when you click it, it expands and usually shows you more options for something. So we're gonna click the hamburger. And we've got all kinds of different options here. Settings is where you go to make it to where your Insta stories share to Facebook as well. Archive posts or Insta stories, when they disappear, they go into your archive. Insights are what we're going to look at. There's all kinds of cool stuff, but we want to see our insights. So it's much more watered down than Facebook, much more straightforward. But this shows how many users saw my posts for that week. And then I can also look at activity, like what actions were taken on it and who my audience is. So we're going to go back to the Insta Stories section, right? And this is another way that you can edit your settings for that. So once you're here, you can hit this little gear right there. And then this right here, you can save. I choose to do this because I like this only is viewable for you. If you save your Insta Stories to archive, only you will be able to go back and see them. I don't care about my Insta Stories being saved on my camera roll. I don't need it to junk up that. You can change who is able to reply to your Insta Stories. And then down here at the bottom, we're going to scroll down a little bit, sharing. So allow other people to reshare your stories on theirs. You definitely want to do that, because if you take a picture of a coffee and you tag Creole Bakery, you want them to be able to reshare that, because that's exposure for you. Allow sharing as a message. And then this is the big one that we've been talking about. Share your story to Facebook, okay? So I highly recommend doing that. And that's a way, if you have somebody doing your main social media, this is a great way that you can still interact with your followers. Instagram TV, if you have a video that you want to post to Instagram longer than a minute, it technically has to be labeled as an IGTV. No big deal. You just have to edit it just a little bit differently. Using hashtags, we talked about those. And guys, I promise this is the second to last slide, okay? Hashtags. You can use up to 30 hashtags on every single Instagram post. I see some people who use like 6. Okay, that's great. You're using more than 0, but why not take advantage of it and use every single one possible? You want to use a mixture of if you're a local business and you can only help people in this area, you want to use a lot of local hashtags and then sprinkle in a couple of universal ones, right? So you guys saw my ice cream post when we went to Kilwin's, the best ice cream ever. Well, I don't know, the soda shops, they're all amazing. The best ice cream I've had in New Orleans so far. If you guys have recommendations, let me know. But you saw when I went there, I posted that on my business page. So I would do something like hashtag NOLA, right? Because that's a local hashtag, and also something very broad like ice cream, because that might draw in new people that otherwise I wouldn't have reached. But because we're speaking about a place that is a brick and mortar and only serves certain people, you definitely want to focus more on your local hashtags than anything. And you can go, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing nefarious or bad about going and looking at your competitors and seeing what hashtags they're using and get inspiration from that. It's important to make sure some hashtags are banned by Instagram for different reasons, but you want to make sure that the hashtag isn't banned. It's called shadow ban. All you do is search for it. And if you search for the hashtag and there's nothing there, you don't want to use it. If you do use a banned hashtag, your account may be penalized for that, which seems silly because maybe you would think Instagram would send you a notification, hey, just heads up, that's not a good hashtag to use, but they don't. So once you've compiled your 30 basic hashtags, you can swap out, I usually use maybe 20 local hashtags, and the last 10 I switch up. And then once in a while when I have time, I switch them all up, right? You got to keep it interesting and get new people coming to your page. That's hashtag research. So look at what hashtags your competitors are using and make a list that's unique to you. Hashtag Old Town Slidell, hashtag Slidell, hashtag Covington, hashtag NOLA, hashtag New Orleans, hashtag only in NOLA, right? There's so many that you can use. And if you're a business that serves the entire US, if you want to focus on Florida for some reason that week, you can go look at hashtags local to people who live in Florida. Also, mix up the content, mix up the hashtags based on the content. So I posted about ice cream, so I included hashtag ice cream. When I post about a social media tip, I might do hashtag social media tips, right? Because that's relevant to the content. Okay, takeaways from today. I threw a lot at you guys. I know it was a lot, but I know that everything I talked about is really important. So if you have questions, leave them in the comment box and I'll stick around to answer them. You can also email me. My email is on my Facebook page. It's One Village Media. Some takeaways. Social media posts perform better when you snap a good photo or create visually appealing graphics and are deliberate with your writing. Growing your following takes time, so don't feel discouraged if you don't automatically have 1,000 likes on Facebook. But it's going to be more successful if you check your insights and post when your audience is online the most. If you don't have time to post day to day, I wouldn't recommend, by the way, posting more than once a day unless you have like 20,000 followers. If you don't have time to do that, consider trying to sit down and plan out the next month, at least the skeleton of the next month, right? And you can fill in other stuff as you go. Anytime you have questions, Google it. I do not claim to know everything. People ask me questions all the time. I say, I don't know. That's a good question. Let me go look it up and I'll find out for you. There's nothing wrong with Googling things and teaching yourself. Keep your branding consistent. your colors, your logo, the way you talk, your verbiage. And remember that almost anything can be turned into content. Last but not least, if you're feeling overwhelmed, there's nothing wrong with outsourcing any part of your business. Your bookkeeping, your marketing, having a cleaning company come in and clean your stuff at the end of the week. There's nothing wrong with outsourcing and asking for help. Because as a business person, to grow your business, you have to move away from doing the day-to-day tasks and look at the bigger picture, right? So you have to save yourself time. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if you guys have any questions. Okay. All right. And that's all I got, guys. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, wow. We've got a lot of comments. Okay, cool. So let's see here. We've got, okay. I've got some emails, so I'll make sure you guys get the link to the presentation. I agree. Maddie says she loves Canva. Canva is awesome. It's $12.95 a month for Pro, but I decided to pay for the entire year at once, which ended up being like $10 a month. So whatever you're comfortable with, $3 extra is not bad. Yes, the apps are helpful. Okay, we've got some more emails. She's going to send a copy of the video to everybody after class. That's awesome. Planning ahead. Yeah, if you plan ahead, it's annoying. It takes a couple hours, but the rest of the month, all you have to do is respond to comments. So let's see. You guys are so nice. Lightroom is really cool. Lightroom is excellent. I'm not a professional photo editor, but I can photo edit really well with Lightroom. So if you don't want to pay for the full Adobe Creative Cloud package, which includes InDesign, Illustrator, Adobe Premiere, you can just pay for one or two for like $10 a month. So I would highly recommend Lightroom. I'm really glad that you guys felt like you learned a lot. And Susie said, what would you suggest for a small business that cannot afford to hire someone? So that's the purpose of this class, right? That's a fantastic question. A lot of businesses aren't comfortable with the idea of spending money on something like this. I encourage them to get more comfortable with that because it is becoming more and more common and more important. But I would suggest to send them this class. So everything that I taught you today is what I do, just a very, very watered down version of it. So I would encourage them to become familiar with Canva, but posting consistently is the best thing you can do. Whoever you are, whatever you do, even if you just post once a week, it's super helpful for your growth on your social media. And Lightroom, got more emails. Okay. Someone said, I'm confused on what to post for a physical therapy office, but that meant, yeah, I can, if you want to message me or email me, physical therapy, you could post, you always have to get permission from anybody who is filmed or taken photos of, right? I would suggest for a business having like a photo release waiver that you can quickly have them sign. Videos of the staff doing their things. For stuff, medical stuff, I like to do employee spotlights and make it feel more personal. It doesn't have to be employee of the month, just a spotlight. 5 questions to ask that person. What's your favorite thing to do? And, getting people to become familiar with your employees and feeling connected to you. You could do birthday posts, like happy birthday to Susie, right? Here's her cake and it was so much fun. Videos of maybe a physical therapist explaining exactly what they're doing for a specific injury. I mean, you could go crazy. You just have to, anytime you have an idea, just write it down on your phone and give it a shot. All right, I think that was it. So thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you learned a little bit. Like I said, if I don't ask, you won't receive. So if you feel like I did a good job, I would appreciate if you'd hop on my Facebook page for One Village Media and let me know about it. So thank you.
Y'all, thank y'all so much for coming. Thank you, Ashley. That was an amazing presentation.
Shoot me if you have questions.
Absolutely. And y'all, I'm going to have the recording out to y'all at the same email address y'all reached out earlier. And also we're going to go ahead and put them up on YouTube on our St. Tammany Parish Library channel. So I will send all that out probably in an hour or two. It takes a while to generate the video. But y'all, thank y'all so much for coming. And Ashley, thank you again.
No, thank you. I
like
appreciate
stellar at what you do.
Hi,
Okay.
Julian. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
Y'all too. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.